Hello, Dr. Dyke Drummond here at the home of thehappymd.com in beautiful Seattle, Washington. Welcome to the latest episode of the Physicians on Purpose podcast. Tools so you can recognize and prevent your own burnout. Stories of burnout put to its highest and best use, and wellness leadership strategies. Everything you need to be a physician on purpose. Hello again, Dr. Dyke Drummond here at the home of The Happy MD in beautiful Seattle, Washington, with the latest edition of the Physicians on Purpose podcast. What I want to do is share a resource with you that we've been handing out to our clients and our friends and colleagues for the last 6 years. Every year, end of the year, we call it the Best Year Yet Breakthrough Process, and it gives you a chance to just take the 10 questions that we've assembled, power questions, answer them in your journal once here in the last couple of weeks of the year, and it sets you up for 2023 to be your best year yet. Now, I know this is true because I've used these questions and set the year up for myself intentionally like this for 6 years in a row. And I know what it's done for me. We get people coming in and telling us by email and in personal conversations how it's made a difference to them and their families. So I want to share this with you. No strings attached. I don't even want your email. If you look down below the frame here, wherever it is you're watching this audio or video, you're going to see a link where you can get your own copy of the Best Year Yet process. What am I even talking about? Well, here's what I know for sure. 12 years of working with burned out doctors, helping them turn things around, go from being dissatisfied, feeling like maybe you're on the wrong path, wondering what happens next, feeling like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, the classic burnout phrase in your head of something like, I'm not sure how much longer I can keep going like this, turning that around to feeling like your career is going someplace and you're happy to be a doctor, turning it into your best year yet. One of the keys to that is a very subtle, once you get to the far side, it's not too subtle, but it's a subtle difference in the way you view your reality. When you're overstressed, when your energy tanks are on zero, what ends up happening is we tend to scan our environment and look for the things we want to avoid. You're in fight or flight mode. I call it survival mode, just looking to make it through the day. And what ends up happening is in that stage, what you do is you focus on the things you don't want. You focus on avoiding the things you don't want in your life. And what I have found in working with hundreds of doctors who've come to me in that mindset is that it is important to know the things you want to avoid, but that still won't get you what you really want. Because, and I'm going to say this twice, because it's simple, it's hugely powerful, and it sometimes you'll miss it depending on where your mindset is. Let me go through it here. Ready? You can avoid everything you don't want, and you still won't get what you want, because the only way to get what you want is to figure out what that is and go get it. So let me say that again. You can avoid everything you don't want, and you still won't get what you want, because the only way to do that is figure out what you want and go get it. Now, what you want and what you don't want are related to each other. They're sort of like opposites. But the truth is, unless you pull yourself out of your current whirlwind, pull yourself out of all the things that are occupying your awareness and potentially even overstressing you or feeling like they're off the mark, unless you pull yourself out of that whirlwind and look at your life from this step backwards, from this new perspective, you won't be able to see the things you want because your mind is occupied with fight, flight, and avoiding the things that you don't. So that's what we do a lot in coaching, a coaching call, and even more importantly, you opening up your journal and writing for a few minutes is a step out of the whirlwind and a new perspective on your life and your practice. Einstein said, no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. So what we do with our Best Year Yet process is I give you 10 simple questions. You print off the handout. There's a space for you to answer the questions on each page. They ask you things like, what's the most important thing that you learned last year? What do you want to celebrate? Who's somebody you want to get to know next year? And it's going to make a big difference for you, right? What would one outrageous adventure be? You sit here in the holiday season and you write your answers to those questions down, and you date it and you save it. Because you're going to want to look at it this time next year so you can see all of these milestones that you've been able to reach. And the process gets more and more meaningful year after year as you do it. So it's very simple. Take some time, download the worksheet, print it off, take some time. It takes, if you do a really good job, about a half an hour to fill out the whole sheet. I encourage you, if you are in a relationship, grab your partner, your significant other, your plus one, right? Your spouse, and print off two. Sherry and I do this every year. Print off two and fill them out together. And the conversations you're going to have will be very, very interesting. But what I found is this, and I'm not the only person who says this is research proven. Anytime you set yourself a goal that you really want, a positive goal, something that you really want, anytime you set that goal and write it down simply once, you increase the chance that you're going to reach it. Sometimes it feels like it's on autopilot. So I've had a number of people come to me and say, hey, I picked up my worksheet from last year, the best year yet worksheet, and I had written down this goal, and I'll be darned, I achieved it, and I didn't remember that I had written it down last year. Super powerful. Try it for yourself. Completely no strings attached, download. And then come back here and leave a comment. Tell me how it went for you, or come visit us at thehappymd.com on the web. So download the best year yet worksheet right here on this frame. And I'll see you in the next of our Physicians on Purpose podcast. Dyke Drummond here from Seattle, Washington. Keep breathing and have a great rest of your day.